jërë ngeen jëf mbokk yi ñu ngi leen di nuyu yéen ñi nga xam ne yéen a ngi seetaan Eyeafrica TV nekk si réew mi ak si bitim réew foo leen mënta nekk ñu ngi leen di nuyu di leen wax dal leen ak jàmm. tey comme ni ko Eyeafrica TV baaxoo si bépp xew-xew bu nga xam ne day faral di am si réew mi niñ siy taxawee gis ne askan bi yëpp xam ne lépp lu fa xew. loolu war a tey ñu ngi fii nii si fi nga xam ne mooy Taf City muy city bu am solo boo xam ne Taf moo ko nar a taxawal tey mu war a teg xeer bu njëkk. ki nga xam ne mooy njiiti réew mi war koo teewee loolu war a tey ñun ànd fi ak yéen Taf City nag mu ngi nekk si diggante li nga xam ne mooy Kiti ak Gunjur pour ñi nga xam ne xam nañ boor boobu noonu laal na si li nga xam ne mooy Kiti laal si Gunjur moo tax ñu ne mu ngi nekk si diggante Kiti ak Gunjur muy city bu nga xam ne bu am solo la city bu rëy la loolu waral tey solo gum am ki nga xam ne mooy njiiti réew mi di président Adama Barrow moo war a teg xeer bi ànd si ak ki nga xam ne mooy Taf City bi. su ko defee Moustapha Ndiaye ñu gën koo xam si Moustapha Ndiaye muy doomi réew mi di tabax si réew mi li nga xam ne ni comme ni ko olof yi di waxee bëgguñ dara génn gaal bi lépp dañ bëgg li nga xam ne développement la buy am si réew mi ñi nga xam ne ñooy doomi réew mi moom ko moo tax tey bés bi nekk na lu nga xam ne lu am solo la. moo tax tey président Adama Barrow mu ngi noonu agsi na léegi nii pour war a teg xeer bi fi nga xam ne mooy Taf City gis ngeen ko noonu agsi na. solo Taf City loolu tax président Adama Barrow daal di bàyyi bépp soxlaam ñëw nar a teg li nga xam ne mooy xeer bu njëkk wax naa leen ne lii lu am solo la because ay ndaw dinañ si liggéey ay doomu aadama yu bëri dinañ si liggéey gis ñooñu dem liggéey si dem dund si seen njaboot te loolu la ñëwoon ñaan si li nga xam ne mooy citizens si ñoom ñëpp ñi gën a ñëw invest li nga xam ne mooy réew mi loolu dina nekk lu nga xam ne lu am solo réew mi dina si gis seen bopp bu ko Taf City nekk na city bu nga xam ne ni city bu rëy la te lépp am na si biir li nga xam ne ni mooy Taf City ñu leen ko waxee nekk si diggante Gunjur ak li nga xam ne mooy Kiti Taf City comme ni ñu ko waxee mu ngi digaaloo sa ak li nga xam ne mooy géej te géej boobu mooy lu dox si diggante Sénégal ak Gambia river bi su ko defee itam Taf City dina am li nga xam ne mooy school dina am ka tàggatakaay yaram muy football fu ñu ko war a defee ak xeeti football yi yëpp dina am li nga xam ne mooy Taf City dina am school university dina fi nekk soo mu nekk lu nga xam ne ni lu am solo la Taf City itam dina nekk city bu nga xam ne ni dina am sécurité bu nga xam ne ni bunta boo jaaree di nga mën a dugg waaye dina am sécurité ba nga xam ne ni am na looy luy mën a tax nga mën a dugg si li nga xam ne mooy Taf City nag buñ ko tegee lu mu war a nekk si kër bëri na trop lu ëpp 5 junni ak ay kër war na ko xam ne mooy Taf City loolu mu nekk lu nga xam ne lu am solo la wante si li nga xam ne mooy diiri benn bi dina pare comme nuñ ko waxee because si réeréew la mbir dafa jël li nga xam ne mooy làkk réew mi daal di ko compter ko si njaago compter ko si joola si saraxule
Mams, as we begin this ceremony today.
kon nuñ ko waxee rek Taf City mu nekk lu nga xam ne jël na juróom-ñaari làkk si li biir réew mi daal di làkk bu si nekk nombre bu Taf City dajee mu daal di la ko tuddee waaye bu njëkk bi mooy wolof mu ne benn city bu nga xam ne mooy si benn mu war koo njëkkee commencé boobu si diiru benn at di ngeen gis ne dina am ñu dëkk si fii si Taf City nekk si diggante Gunjur ak fi nga xam ne mooy Kiti si diiru benn at city boobu nag nga xam ne mooy benn tey war a dem ba juróom-ñaar mooy seebin nga xam ne mooy làkku ak bi soo boobu si dina am li nga xam ne mooy juróom-benn fukki kër muy 60 compound home dinañ am si li nga xam ne ni mooy Taf City te mooy njël benn bi bu ko si den anglais dina nekk 1 ba 7 li nga xam ne ni ay step la ko nekk di nga xam ne ni moom la koy tabaxee kon Taf City city bu am solo la te dag li si gën a am solo mooy kii di doomi réew moo ko moom Moustapha Ndiaye lépp si biir réew mi la moo des kon tam lii nekk na lu am solo bëgg neen wala askan bi bëgg neen façon yi lii développement bi li nga xam ne lépp lu si am des si li nga xam ne mooy réew mi te loolu dina war a tax tam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President, His Excellency, a round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Mr. President. And I kindly ask that we all remain standing For the national anthem as well, the police band is already set and waiting. We may all continue standing to observe the national anthem. Thank you so much, the police band. Thank you. You may all take your seats. Thank you so much. Mr. President, you're welcome to this very important occasion today. I first of all like that we open this ceremony with our usual opening prayers. And I'll start by calling the Imam of Gunjul to lead us in the Muslim way. Imam.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم مريم منسة الله ميا لونكا كو ألين داني نالي جابي تمومن نايتي الله إتلي غامبيا خرجي نين كما بندا كمال إتلي كمبو خرجي نين بندا كمال إتلي سيفو ألين غنجورو خرجي نين بندا كمال مبي داني لمنسة كلانكي فو nyindo ko kumma mi alon ko abina ko masila ala se barako keje ala se sutro keje ala se tanko keje ala se kairo keje ala sa timbande kairala ayake Gambia e kairoti ayake dunia e kariot ay kharaje anyon jamala nyim banko kan His Excellency Alhaji Adama Barrow ala nyaton kaya koto aningala man sakunda anin tafla nyaton kaya koto أنين على دوكو نيولو سبحان ربك رب العزة أما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ya Imam. At this juncture, I'd like to call on Pastor Francis Forbes to lead us in a Christian prayer. Pastor.
Let us pray. Our precious and merciful Father, our great God in heaven, we stand this morning in great humility, thanking you for the mercy you've given us to see this day, thanking you for your goodness to us as a people, thanking you that we can witness history before our very eyes. We are here gathered today recognizing that except you bless, all our efforts go in vain. And except you watch, all that we secure lies waste. We stand on this ground in the authority of your name. And as we launch this project, we ask you, Lord, to look down and bless this project. Bless this project. Bless this project. My Father, bless this project. May this project be built under the blessing of open heavens. May it outlive and outlast our personal ambitions, our political ambitions, whatever ambitions we have. May this city rise up to be a lighthouse, a beacon of hope, to bless these communities, to bless this nation, to bless this sub-region, and to be a lighthouse to the continent. We are grateful for visionary leadership. We are grateful for your son, into whose heart you have birthed this project. Guide him and his team. Give them oneness of purpose and mission and vision, that in their lifetime, this project will stand as a testimony of what happens when people work together in one purpose, one vision, and one mission. So from the very length to the breadth, from the north to the south, from the east to the west of this project, I lift my hand and I say, bless it, Lord. Bless it, Lord. Give it the blessing of open heavens. And again, may it outlive us, outlast us, and be the prototype of other great cities that will make the greatness of this nation emerge, because you have willed it so. Yours is the kingdom, and yours is all the power, and all the glory goes to you this morning. In the matchless and excellent name, and the power, and the authority of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, we prayed, and together everybody said, Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor. May all the prayers be answered as well. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I start with His Excellency, the President. Thank you so much for being with us here today. And of course, Cabinet Ministers, Director Generals of various institutions. We also have renowned figures from the sub-region who are all part of this landmark achievement. I call it a landmark achievement even before we start, because it's so great to put together something as huge as this, even conceiving it. And I'm always proud to be a part of TAF events, because if you know Uncle TAF, you know he calls himself Youth Man. And we agree to that, because at the center of it all, at the organization of this program, and all the activities conducted at the TAF Africa Global, you have young people at the center of it all. And even as you look around today, they are the ones handling the cameras. They are the ones making sure that guests are coming in and taking their seats, but also just making sure everything is going in the right way. And TAF is also doing well by just coordinating them and just making sure they do the right thing. So I'm so honored to be here. My name is Fatu Elika Maloshi, and I'll take you through this event today. The reason we're gathered here today is because we're about to realize the materialization of the TAF Africa 1 million housing. And every dream starts at home. TAF is in about 8 African countries, and he said, you know what, I'm going to start this dream first in my home country. And that is why we're seated here in Gunjur today, where this landmark achievement will commence. And the project, I understand, is twice as big as Banjul. I think that is in itself stunning. A round of applause for Taf. I feel it's nerve-wracking to be able to construct a city twice as big as Banjul. And it does not only stop there. We're looking at sustainable solutions as we adapt to the changing climate. And Tav said, you know what, we're not only going to build houses, we're going to make sure we build sustainable structures. Not only that, we're going to construct trees. We're going to adapt to renewable energy solutions by installing solar. And as you can look around already, that has already started. And I feel that is commendable. Because when you look at the National Development Plan, I know one thing that is very much crucial in realizing the plan is that we have to adapt climate smart initiatives. And because whether we like it or not, climate change is imminent. And so whatever we take now should be an indicator of what we are working towards in the future. And I think lately development projects we're seeing, whether it comes from the government, whether public institutions, NGOs, everybody is beginning to take that mantra very seriously. It just shows that when we work together, a lot more can be done in a very positive way. And I'm pretty sure that in this very plan, that too would manifest as 60,000 jobs get to be created for young people in the sub-region. I think it is massive. Ladies and gentlemen, when Tav says Gambia bitalale diakuya, I think we're getting there, right? Because what we're seeing is a manifestation of that. Gambia dina dem diakuya. Because ñu ngi dem dal, no? Ñu si yoni dem, no? So I think when Tav says that, he means it. And he's not only saying it by using hashtags, he's materializing that goal. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite at the podium Mr. Mustafa Njai Tav himself, Mr. Youthman, as he delivers the opening address. But he will also do us the honor of giving prizes to young architects of affordable housing competition. If you were at the TAF graduation, the TAF Leadership Academy graduation last few months ago, you realize that TAF decided to do an initiative that will encourage young people to design the next TAF houses, right? And they're doing that in a form of a competition. So today, he'll do us the honor of also delivering those prizes as well. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Fatu. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow. Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, Honorable Minister, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, representative of UN Habitat, representative of Shelter Afrique, representatives of Exim Bank, Afri-Exim Bank, and representative of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, the Pro-Chancellors of the Universities of Lagos, Obafemi Awolowo, and Port Harcourt in Nigeria, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Housing in Nigeria, Senator Dr. Sam O. Egu, local government authorities, vulnerable religious leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to the inauguration ceremony and laying of the foundation stone of the TAF city, which when completed will be the biggest integrated private sector-led housing initiative in Africa. TAF City is an important part of our goal to deliver 1 million homes in sub-Saharan Africa between 2018 and 2038. We have realized that the housing deficit in Africa cannot be solved by just developing housing estates. And as such, the development of cities and micro-cities in the different regions, states, and countries would better alleviate the problem of mass affordable housing delivery. The concept of cities rather than estates also provides other amenities such as education, recreation, factories, and other industries. The development of Tough City is guided by the concept of providing a conducive environment for where residents can live, work, and play, thereby enjoying an excellent quality of life. It is designed to be an eco-friendly smart city with 5,000 homes, incorporating an entire agricultural value chain together with an industrial hub for light manufacturing. The development will also have its own educational and vocational training facilities and state-of-the-art amenities for sports and recreation, places of worship, commercial centers, amongst others. It is envisaged that 60,000 jobs will be created directly and 25 more indirectly jobs will be created through partnerships and collaboration with other actors, which will no doubt contribute significantly and contribute to the much needed reduction of the unemployment rate, particularly amongst the youth. Indeed, our vision is to see the Gambia move towards high-value jobs that focus on adding value in both service and manufacturing sectors in close proximity to people's homes. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Tough City is the biggest in Africa, being fully developed by one private developer, namely Tough Africa Global, which is registered in 8 African countries. In this regard, the successful launching of the Gambia project can only build confidence with other governments in scaling up and repeating the development in their respective countries. Today, Africa is rapidly moving towards economic integration with the recently launched African Free Trade Area. Against this backdrop, at Tough Africa Global, we view African continent as one marketplace with a human resource and customer base of over 1 billion people. That is the target market for every African undertaking and affords the Gambia enormous opportunities regardless of our size. Our 1 million homes commitment was conceived in this context. At this juncture, I would like to highlight that Africa continues to face considerable challenges in mass housing delivery. Some of these challenges include access to land, financing, and a trained and skilled workforce. Addressing these challenges cannot be left to local and national governments only. Citizens, in particular the private sector, must play an active role in bridging the financing and capacity gaps towards clean, affordable, safe, secure, and sustainable urban housing. Forging partnerships with governments under PPP, that's public-private partnership arrangements, to make the land affordable and accessible without encumbrances is one way to provide viable solutions. In addition to partnering with national and international financial institutions to access affordable financing, both for construction and mortgages for our clients. It is no accident, thus, that 4 of our major partners in this journey are represented here today in this event. The UN Habitat, the primary agency for housing for the United Nations system. Shelter Afrique, a leading housing finance agency in Africa. Afri-Exim Bank, which finances and facilitates trade between African countries. and then EBIT, which is the West African Bank, ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. Together, we share a common ambition of developing strong and effective partnerships for better managed cities and towns with adequate and affordable housing for our rapid growing populations, with governments as primary enablers. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity to announce the setting up of a technical training institute under the Tough Africa Foundation to train youths on much needed skills in support of housing development and to support the implementation of the National Development Plan, with particular emphasis on youth unemployment. In this regard, our aim is to partner with government in responding to the growing housing and infrastructure needs of this nation, which today has a youth population in excess of 60% of the total population. That demography brings with it an urgent need for quality and affordable housing, amongst other demands. Such a task cannot be left to government alone. And I am pleased to report, Mr. President, that in our journey towards this launch today, your government, through the able Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, and other government agencies have been committed partners, providing the necessary support and accompaniment for success of this project. We by no means underestimate the value of such commitment and support, and for that, Mr. President, I want on my own behalf and on behalf of Tough Africa Global to thank you for your support, including your presence here today. I would also like to express our sincere appreciation to the Honorable Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Honorable Musa Drame, and his staff. None of what we do would be possible without the staunch support of our partners. Accordingly, I would like to thank Trust Bank Gambia Limited, GT Bank Gambia, and Eco Bank Gambia for providing mortgages to our client. Shelter Afrique has been with us throughout our journey. Let me also express my gratitude and appreciation to the Managing Director of Shelter Afrique, Mr. Andrew Chifonda, for the confidence they've had in us in signing an MOU 2 years ago as a partner in the delivery of our 1 million homes delivery. Mr. Omar Silla, Regional Director of UN Habitat, is also with us today. And for us, this is a confirmation of the importance that UN Habitat accords to our partnership. We signed an MOU early this year as a partner recognizing the delivery of housing in Africa. And we thank you for this opportunity. I would also like to recognize and thank the delegation from Afri-Exim Bank, Mr. Itong Eric and Munchu, Regional Chief Operating Officer, Anglophone West Africa, and Wisdom Tawia, Consultant Client Relations, Anglophone West Africa, for attending this event as we are in the process of negotiations on our partnership. Our appreciation also goes to Dr. Ologunjuo Moses Olalekan Ashimulu, Vice President in charge of operations, representing the President and Chairman of ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, George Ayikum Donko, as we are also negotiating in forming a partnership and about to sign an MOU. Our valuable clients have kept us going all these years. Thank you thank you for supporting us and for having confidence in Tough Africa Global for over 31 years. Let me also thank our subcontractors, and namely Doku, who did all the plumbing and water reticulation, and Bajam, headed by a Gambian lady, Madam Marimbai, for doing all our roads. I'd also like to thank Birkama Area Council, the chief and alcalos and all religious leaders that are present here today. Last but not the least, my sincere appreciation to the staff of Tough Africa Global. You make everything possible. My thanks to my very supportive family, particularly my wife, who is always by my side. As Nelson Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. At Tough Africa Global, we thrive on challenges and following our dreams. We look forward to welcoming you all as residents of Tough City in the very near future. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, but you're still staying because you're going to announce the winners for the Tough Young Architects Affordable Housing Competition, right? Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. Your Excellency, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, in conceiving this project, we thought that we should make it as Gambian as possible. So from its design, from the conception, because of my attachment to the youth, we gave an opportunity to the young architects of this country between the ages of 18 and 30. 42 of them enlisted, then 18 or 9 were shortlisted, and then we have 3 winners and consolation prizes. So these are the prizes. If they want to come along, please, very quickly. Where are the young architects? Okay, for consolation prizes, we have Mr. Badu Job. Actually, if you watch Gambia TV and Star with Paradise about 2 weeks ago, we had a program on the selection process. My Nigerian brothers are looking at me. You know, the moment I set this initiative, it was taken up by the Housing Authority in Nigeria. And there's a competition ongoing at the national level on a young architects competition. So we are ahead of you. We are small. But our other part, we have already chosen the winners. So we're starting with Badu Job as a consolation prize. Okay. Badu, thank you very much. Congrats. Okay, then we have Nambu Ture. Thank you, Nambu. Well done. And then we have Abdul Hadir Jau. He is 5th. Thank you so much. And then we have Musa Silla as the 2nd runner-up. Sorry. Abdul Tamba, sorry. 4th position, Abdul Tamba. Thank you, well done. Congrats. Then we have Musa Silla as the 2nd runner-up. Now the 2nd runner-up is Musa Silla.
We did it's Ismaila Bojang.
We did Musa Silla as the 2nd runner-up. Okay, Ismaila Bojang is not here, but the wife is here to take the present. Well done, congrats.
Thank you.
Now the winner is Abubakar Marigo. Marigo takes the first prize. I will not announce what is here because then maybe people will run after you. Thank you very much. And Your Excellency, Marigo has now been employed by Tough Africa Global. And what we do in the designs that they have done, if we use any of the designs, then they are paid professional fees, international professional fees for using their designs. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, thanks very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you. A round of applause for Uncle Njai. Tough once again. I was so shocked that you had to read from your script today, because that's something he doesn't do. He always tries it out and says, you know what, let me just use my own. And he does it very well. But thank you so much. And now I would like to invite Mr. Andrew Chifonda to deliver a statement. He is the Managing Director of Shelter Afrique. A round of applause for him.
Your Excellency, the President of Gambia, Honorable Adama Barrow, the Honorable Minister of Lands and Regional Government and Regional Affairs, Musa S. Jammeh, the Executive Director, UN Habitat, Ms. Maimuna Mood Sharif, represented by my brother Omar Salah. There are a lot of distinguished ministers here. Of course, the man of the hour, the Group Managing Director, CEO, TAF Global, Mr. Mustafa Nji, Uncle TAF, the board of TAF Africa Global, the management of TAF Africa Global, the staff of TAF Africa Global, senior government officials represented, members of the diplomatic community, and everybody else, including the press corps. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Salam alaikum. Naka Subasi. Oh, you're not answering. Naka Subasi. Okay, I hope I'm saying it right. Your Excellency, it is an honor and privilege for me to be here today. I bring warm greetings from the board, Chairman of Shelter Afrique, Dr. Steve Minder, the board of Shelter Afrique, the management of Shelter Afrique. Why would Shelter Afrique be here in the Gambia? Who is Shelter Afrique? Uncle Tuff explained that Shelter Afrique is a Pan-African housing institution owned by the Gambia and 44 other countries in Africa, including the African Development Bank and Africa Reinsurance Corporation. So Shelter Afrique is owned by the Gambia and other countries in Africa. Our vision is clear: to provide decent and affordable homes for all Africans. And of course, we are dedicated to that mission through the investment of $1.2 billion channeled specifically towards supporting large-scale, low-cost housing in Africa. Our mission is clear: to be the preeminent provider of financial solutions, advisory solutions, research solutions that are geared towards delivering housing in Africa through public-private partnerships in order to sustain sustainable development impact. How do we do it? Since we're a financier and we can't be in all 44 countries, we do it by choosing strategic development partners whose core business is to deliver large-scale housing in Africa, whose vision is aligned to the delivery of housing in Africa. Why is that so? You'll be shocked to know that the shortage of housing in Africa through our Center of Excellence is estimated at 56 million units shortage of housing. Our people are living in substandard conditions. To fund such a shortage, you'd need at least at an average of 25,000 US dollars, about $1.3 trillion. That is why we can only deliver housing through sustainable public-private partnerships. It brings me today to recognize Your Excellency, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, that one unique partner that, we found in the whole of Africa is TAF Africa Global. It's like they say, Nelson Mandela, a prophet is never always recognized in his own country. But I would like to say, Your Excellency, that had Mr. Mustafa Njay been in the United Kingdom, they would be calling him Sir Mustafa Njay. So I pray that, Your Excellency, you will find an award that is befitting of what I believe is a national treasure in the country of Gambia. Your Excellency, why did Shelter Afrique sign a memorandum of understanding with TAF Global? It's because, one, we have a relationship with TAF Africa Global that dates back from 2000. We have had relationships where we started our funding in the year 2000, so our relationship is 21 years old. We funded another project for TAF Africa Global, and we funded a third project with TAF Africa Global. And I'd like to say beyond a reasonable shadow of doubt that the reputation that Uncle Taf has created within the confines of the Pan-African institution Shelter Afrique is such that even the board and other countries emulate the fact that we have. Take your time to clap more, it's worth it. Oh, thanks, Fatih. I also want to be like you when I grow up. So we have a developer that has the capacity to develop large-scale housing units. We have a developer that is credible, that when you give money to the institution, it is used for the right purpose. We have a developer that's prepared to pay loans and monies back in record time. We have a developer that is disciplined. We have a developer that's passionate, not only about the Gambia, but also about the country of Africa. TAF Global should be commended for setting the standard. We believe they are a pace setter. We are keen on, of course, exporting their expertise to the continent so that we can together address the matter of capacity in the industry. TAF City, we believe, is going to be a good foundation to develop the estimated, I listened to the speech from both Fatih and Uncle TAF, to deliver 5,000 units of housing, creating 60,000 jobs. I think that is commendable in terms of value add. It is for this reason I'm pleased also to highlight and Lord TAF Leadership Academy. Today we've also heard the launch of the TAF Technical Institute, which is committed in terms of the Leadership Academy in grooming and developing the next generation of entrepreneurs and business leaders. We are keen as Shelter Afrique, through the Shelter Afrique Foundation, to create a relationship with not only the TAF Leadership Academy, but also the Technical Institute, so that we can also find ways we can collaborate with our Center of Excellence. TAF Global represents our vision for Gambia, and of course, I've explained our relationship with TAF. I believe the first time I met Uncle TAF in Nairobi, Kenya, and he said to me, I have a vision. I have a vision to develop 1 million housing units in 20 years. I have a vision. I have a vision to ensure that in 20 years, you are developing at least 50,000 units. I believe that we as Shelter Afrique would only be but privileged to be part of sharing that vision as your funding partner, Uncle TAF. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the Gambia today, we have our focus on Africa as well, and we can promote multilateral solutions to our common problems. Your Excellency, I would like to announce that at the 40th Annual General Meeting of the Shelter Afrique, which was held on the 24th of June, 2021 in Yaounde, Cameroon, we developed what is called the Yaounde Declaration. We had 44 housing ministers, 44 finance ministers together at a round table, wherein we promulgated that there needs to be a focus in the delivery of mass production of decent and affordable homes on the continent. This declaration is the first time in our organization's history that we have recommended a policy framework for all African countries to guide their actions on affordable housing. It is also critical because we are acknowledging the role that finance plays. The next step is to focus on larger frameworks such as the Africa Union 2063, the New Urban Agenda, which are also a part of already working, and we are already working on the model law with the African Union, of course in collaboration with UN Habitat. Your Excellency, Adama Barrow, President of Gambia, I would like to make a personal appeal that you help us advocate for the Yaounde Declaration and the affordable housing and affordable housing at the African Union's Head of State Summit. If all governments can resolve to address affordable housing the way we have seen it is demonstrated today here at Tough City, we will move a lot closer to closing the housing deficit on the continent. As I conclude, I want to thank your audience and congratulations again to Uncle TAF. From today on, Sir Mustafa Nji in my books of TAF Africa Global, the board of TAF Africa Global, the directors, the management, the staff of TAF Africa Global, and the beautiful people of the Gambia. Jere Jeff, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Mustafa Njai. Tough it is, right? And at this juncture, I'd like to call on Mr. Omar Silla. He is the regional representative for Africa of UN Habitat as he comes to deliver a brief statement. Mr. Silla.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Honorable Ministers, Mayors, Chief Executive of local authorities, religious leaders, members of the diplomatic corps and consulars, the United Nations family, the CEO of Shelter Afrique, my friend Andre Punchua, the Chairman, TAF Africa Global Limited, Mr. Mustafa Njai, and his amiable and professional staff as well. I bring warm greetings from Nairobi, especially from our Executive Director, Madam Maimouna Mot Sharif, and colleague from the UN Habitat Regional Office for Africa. Firstly, I would like to thank the management of TAF Global for the invitation to be part of this historical ceremony. On the 29th of July 2020, The United Nations Human Settlement Program, called UN Habitat, and Tough Africa Global entered a visionary cooperation by the signing of Memorandum of Understanding to develop private sector partnership for the delivery of affordable house throughout Africa. UN Habitat is always eager to see private sector entities like Tough Africa Global emerging and breaking ground on the continent. Cognizant of Tough Global's notable work that transcends the border of the Gambian into 8 other African countries, particularly the project in River State, Nigeria, known as Reef Tough. UN Habitat is the agency mandated by the United Nations General Assembly to promote socially and environmentally sustainable towns and cities with the goal of providing adequate shelter for all. In discharge its duties, affordable housing, urban planning, layout design, incorporating smart cities concept, greening, are areas wherein the agencies provide support to many of its stakeholders, including the like of Tough Africa Global. As Africa is rapidly urbanizing, with more than half of this population living in urban areas by 2040, it's the moment than ever to take a new path toward transforming our cities and human settlement into livable and attractive place for investment. UN Habitat, which is present in more than 24 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, believe that well-planned and managed cities can be engine for economic growth, and private sectors has key role to play in achieving this transformative goal. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, you may agree with me that affordable housing is one of the primary challenges faced by government, including in the developed world. And I must underscore the cardinal role of national government in creating an enabling environment in the provision of affordable housing, policy, strategy, readily available and accessible land, tax credit to benefit those in the lower rank of the housing market are key to affordable housing. The Regional Office for Africa is one of many regional offices of UN Habitat that provide technical and advisory services, design and implementation support, as well as resource mobilization for its partners with a focus on the African continent. The Regional Office for Africa works with national and local government, private sector, academia, just to name a few of the Habitat Agenda partners on issues pertinent to the mandate of the agencies. In the Gambia, like other countries on the continent, affordable housing and is for the foreseeable future will be a challenge for government to grapple with, particularly as it concerns honoring the social contract between national government and citizenry. For population, urban and rural alike, to have access to affordable housing, it requires a collective effort of both government, national and subnational, to work hand in glove with relevant stakeholders to ensure that all the input or ingredient in the provision of affordable housing are put together. This includes the policies, strategy by government and associate institutions, as well as suitable and accessible land, and to the extent possible, the basic and trunk infrastructure such as water, electricity, and possibly sewage at hand, close to the site to positively impact the cost of housing, again making housing affordable. Affordable housing solutions should be viewed holistically. National government ought to invest in research and design to explore the availability of local building material that are environmentally and cost-friendly for the economically weaker section of the populations. Unfortunately, in most of our African countries, we experience a very high percentage of imported building material, thus making housing costs prohibitive or unaffordable for a significant number of households. It is gratifying to note that TAF has over the years demonstrated leadership in housing provision in the Gambia, and is supposedly the trailblazer on real estate development in the Gambia. And I personally believe this is one of the many projects it has embarked and successfully executed. Human Habitat has also learned that Tough Africa Global has gone beyond building house and has singularly invested in skill development through its leadership, academic by training, and tooling treatment, and we hear this competition being closed. Another exemplary feat worthy of mention is a recent architectural design competition for affordable housing design for Gambian, launched by TAF. UN Habitat is delighted to be associated with TAF Africa Global, and this is an event in the recently signed MOU. Excellency, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, as I stand here in front of you representing UN Habitat Executive Director, I would like to commit that UN Habitat will open up its continental and global footprint to Tough Africa Global, and will do everything possible to open doors in other African countries to support Tough Global actualize the vision of a 1 million home in sub-Saharan Africa. For that as well, I would like to welcome you to attend the World Urban Forum 2022 in Poland as an opportunity to showcase progress we are making in Africa on the housing delivery context. To conclude, I would like to reiterate my thanks to the management of Tough Africa Global for inviting UN Habitat to the laying of the foundation stone for tough cities, smart and green cities. I thank you all for listening. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Silla. Well, the sun is very hot. I can see everyone is busy fanning themselves. So I'll go right into it and call on Mr. Eric Monchu Intong to deliver a statement. He is the Regional Chief Operating Officer, Anglophone West Africa for Afrexim Bank. A round of applause for him.
Thank you very much. I also want to be like you when I grow up. Your Excellency, President Adama Barrow of the Republic of the Gambia, members of the Diplomatic Corps, honorable ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to stand on established protocol. On behalf of Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, I wish to express a sincere gratitude to have been invited to attend this very important and landmark occasion. Tough City is the biggest affordable housing estate with residential and other amenities in Africa being developed by Tough Africa Global in the Gambia, a key member countries of the African Export-Import Bank. The African Export-Import Bank was created in 1993 in Abuja, Nigeria, and today has 51 member countries, among which we have the Republic of the Gambia. Your Excellency, Tough Africa Global Limited keeps making Africa proud by being a pan-African real estate development company with presence in 8 African countries, including Nigeria, Togo, Senegal, Cameroon, where I am from, and of course, the Gambia, Mozambique, just to name a few. Tough Africa Global has been identified by Afrexim Bank as an intra-African trade champion, and the bank will work tirelessly to provide advisory, facilitative, and financing support in line with its strategy hinged on 4 pillars, namely intra-African trade, industrialization and export development, trade finance, leadership, and financial soundness and performance. TAF has, over the years, been involved in numerous PPP projects in key cities of the continent. We cite the GTAF Special Economic Zone in Banjul and the Reef TAF Golf Estate in Port Harcourt. Today, we are here to witness the foundation stone laying of TAF City, another PPP PPP project with the government of the Gambia. As a Pan-African multilateral trade finance institution with a mandate to promote and finance intra- and extra-African trade, Afrexim Bank is committed to championing the promotion and expansion of trade and investment in the Gambia and Africa at large. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I would like to reiterate that the bank is willing to provide support not only to TAF, but also to other key players in the Gambian economy. We have provided trade finance facilities to Trust Bank Gambia, Eco Bank Gambia, Vista Bank Gambia, Bloom Bank Gambia, Basic Gambia, GT Gambia. We are commencing banking relationship with the Central Bank of the Gambia through our Central Bank Deposit Program and FX swap facilities. The bank has also financed the importation of 400 million doses of Johnson & Johnson vaccine by African countries through the Africa Vaccine Acquisition Trust Initiative. And we are pleased to advise that the Gambia has been one of the beneficiaries, African countries, having received the first set of those in August 2021, with a balance to be delivered between now and September 2022. This was done by the issuance of a guarantee in favor of Johnson & Johnson to the tune of $2 billion US. We have also identified the airport and the seaport expansion projects as trade enabling infrastructure, which we will work with the various partners to support. And it will help to provide financing support to stimulate economic recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Your Excellency, the destiny of Africa is in the hands of Africans. And the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is a testament to the fact that Africa is now ready to chart its own path to economic development. It is in this context that the Afrexim Bank promoted the first intra-African trade fair in 2018 in Egypt, and the second edition will be taking place this year during November 15 to 21, 2021 in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. I am using this opportunity, Your Excellency, to invite all of us here present to participate massively, for that is the only way we are going to start trading among ourselves. We are going to take our destiny into our hands. I thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Intong. We're certainly doing that, taking our destiny into our own hands. At this juncture, I just sounded like my, my South African friends there. But we're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Just bear with us, because I now have the honor to call on stage Dr. Olagunju Moses Olalekan Ashimolu to deliver a statement. He is the Vice President in charge of operations of ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, EBIT. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Fancy. I think like every other person that has spoken earlier before, I also want to grow up and be like you. You've been doing a very fantastic job. Your Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Gambia, President Adama Barrow, honorable ministers and members of government and parliament here present, members of the diplomatic corps, captains of industry here present, distinguished senators here present, royal fathers and traditional rulers, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor and the privilege to be representing the president of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, Dr. George Ajekudonkom, in this special occasion. EBID, as you all know, is a bank owned by the Republic of Gambia, as well as 14 other countries in ECOWAS. The president of the bank has asked me to convey his regret for his inability to be at this momentous occasion due to prior commitments, and send his well wishes and support for this program, and congratulates most especially Mr. Mustafa Njai and his team for this wonderful job and lovely initiative. EBID is indeed excited to be part of today's event for a number of reasons. First, this ceremony is a precursor to the development of 5,000 affordable housing units in the Gambia. Secondly, development of this project is in and of itself an avenue for job creation for hundreds of people. And thirdly, this development is taking place in Gurunjul, outside of Banjul, which means it will lead to the development of a part of the country other than the capital. It may also interest you to know, Your Excellency, Gunju is actually one of the abbreviations of my first name, Olagunju. So I'm personally excited to be part of this program. Your Excellency, the characteristics of this project align with the objectives of our bank, your bank, which is the development of finance institution of West Africa. As you may well be aware, EBID has been at the forefront of infrastructure development in the sub-region. And for decades, we have been doing this wonderfully well. One area of interest is the provision of infrastructure of all kinds, including the real estate sector. On the African accommodation challenges, Your Excellency, the attractiveness of urban and peri-urban areas to the rural folks in our countries has led to increasing housing deficits across the sub-region. With the continuous migration of people from rural areas into regional capitals and capital cities in search of greener pastures, the existing infrastructure has scarcely been adequate in accommodating them. Those that are fortunate enough to find shelters live in chaos and metal containers, leading to the springing up of slums in the inner cities. The increasing housing deficit has resulted in sustained melee with its attendant problems, including teenage pregnancies, increased drug use and abuse, security concerns, among others. Many of such migrants who abandon their education midstream for various reasons, including the lack of sponsorship and a desire to start earning money quickly, do not find education appealing anymore while sleeping rough in the cities. Your Excellency, the housing deficit in Nigeria is estimated to be around 22 million units, while that of Ghana is pegged at about 1.2 million units. In the Gambia, it is estimated to be around 50,000 units. This phenomenon presents a headache to government as well as the infrastructure budget, which is early enough to accommodate social housing for the masses. The ever-tightening fiscal budget space does not allow for the government to support the provision of affordable housing in scale to accommodate everyone either. This calls for a private sector intervention through private initiative or public-private partnership to help ease the burden. That is what establishments like Tap Africa Global bring to the value to the table, venturing into spaces where others will find it difficult to venture. It is not just a question of the provision of housing, but rather the provision of affordable housing to make it impactful. Thus, by word, a modern lifestyle at affordable prices is apt to the occasion. A lot of factors come to play here, really. The limited availability of mortgage facilities, the cost of mortgage facilities where it's available, the high cost of inputs and low income levels conspire to throw affordability out of the windows. The above enumerated factors and the notoriously lengthy processes of acquiring legitimate titles are actually challenges for our people in order to acquire titles to property, and this makes the cost of having housing very prohibitive. What is the way around about this, Mr. President? Given that government alone cannot resolve this crisis, it is imperative that the private sector joins hands with government to deal with the situation. For this to happen, a number of factors will have to be considered. First is the issue of housing financing. There is a need for government to engage the financial sector to come up with tailor-made mortgage facilities that will make it possible for middle-income earners to buy and own homes over time. For this to happen, government may have to provide loanable funds, fiscal incentives, or both to the sector, given that they will bear the risk of default. This will not only address the risk of impairment, but also provide a guarantee against the loan. The reality today is that quite a number of borrowers do not have the means to secure loans in banks, lending to them, failing the creditworthiness test in most financial institutions. A line by the government can help get around this challenge. The second is addressing the high input cost. We are all aware the cost of housing is high, mostly because input costs are high. The prices of steel, iron rods, window frames, and etc., which are imported, get impacted by a number of factors, including scarce foreign exchange, manufacturing locations, excise taxes, freight charges, and local taxes in those origins. While the former three are beyond state control, the last is actually within the remit and the ambit of government power. Government could actually consider ways of reducing the total cost of housing inputs through the provision of tax incentive to builders. This could help reduce the final cost of housing to boost the affordability agenda. Getting innovative. In addition to helping to provide finance and addressing the high input costs, we can get creative about the business of home ownership. One of such is the rent-to-own scheme, which are one of the ways by which we can encourage home ownership at reasonable cost. Clients will occupy the said accommodation as owner-tenants, paying rent on a monthly basis, but the rent will actually be used to defray the cost of the accommodation over time. After having settled the food value of the house, they become owners of same, possessing the title deed of the facility. In conclusion, Your Excellency, there are other bottlenecks that will need to be addressed to make housing more affordable. Issues like the land administration, which covers land purchases, documentation, and other ownership, and at the core of cost. To conclude, let me reiterate the need for the public and private sectors to work hand in hand to provide affordable housing for our people. Let me once again congratulate TAF Africa Global and its wonderful team, ably led by Mr. Mundafa Ijai, for the brilliant and bold initiative to roll out this immense project. I think they deserve a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the President of EBID, Dr. Jonko, I would like to wish you well for this project and future endeavors. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can still remember the Gunju part. So, thank you so much. A round of applause for all our speakers once again. I think the fact that he made mention of affordable, young people like us can now, feel at ease a little, because we've been wondering what will become of us. Land is getting expensive. Things are getting expensive. So when I was coming here, Uncle Taf, someone told me, Mulushi, yange dem de wahal Uncle Taf ne. Hamga gaiden de wa affordable. Ñun de yal nañ ko mëna afford nak, because ñun young people yi lolay yaakaar su ko defee ñu mëna door di dajale xaalis bi nga xam ne duñ war a woor yi xam nga di lifin gaay constructors yi ñu rey land ba nga share so mën nañoo dajale fii xam nga maybe when 1 million and then ñoo jox la ko nga xam ne ñun tamit ñu mën a sàmm suñ bopp. waaye I hope that will happen, because when I read the brief it said what affordable housing, so that we can solve the issue of land deficiency and just housing deficiency in the sub-region. So I'm pretty very much happy that TAF is very much conscious of that, and the fact that we the young people, there's a high tendency that we will be the ones occupying these houses, because in the next 20 years, going by the life expectancy, I know that hopefully I'll be here to witness it, yeah? So we pray and we are hopeful. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the speakers have reiterated the purpose of which we are all gathered here today. And I think it is indeed a signal, and the fact that the President himself is here with us shows that there's so much commitment from national levels, so much commitment from partners, from the sub-region, local partners. And what's left now is for us Gambians, ourselves, to take ownership of this. And we used to just, lagging behind sometimes. But what we need to do sometimes is just buckle up and also participate and contribute what we can, so that we can realize the goal all together. On that note, we are at the bottom of it all. I'd like to invite, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President, Mr. Adama Barrow, to address the occasion. Ladies and gentlemen.
Honorable Cabinet Ministers, senior government officials and service chiefs, National Assembly members, local government authorities, CEO, TAF Africa Global, Mr. Mustafa Njai, and partners and team, religious leaders, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. To put this occasion into context, let me acknowledge that one of the basic human rights that continue to attract attention is the right to shelter globally, particularly in Africa. Shelter for many households remain largely exclusive. Despite government efforts and huge investments in housing estates and other infrastructure development programs. Many homeless persons still roam the streets by day and night in every part of the world. It is obvious, therefore, that collaboration between the public and private sectors remain the surest way of addressing the challenge in countries where poverty rates are high. The need to address the housing dilemma in Africa and my government resolve to strengthen public-private partnership is the reason for our active involvement in this ceremony. Laying the foundation stone for Tough City accords me the opportunity to demonstrate solidarity with a key partner and contributor to development. I will congratulate Alhaji Mustafa Njai. I came to know Alhaji Mustafa physically in 1991 when I was the salesman at the Musa Njai and Sons hardware store. He came to the store to buy building materials. He was about to pay, and he opened his bag. He was having a check. I called his attention that we don't accept personal checks. He said, I am Mr. Mustafa Njai. I said, what, Mustafa Njai? That's the time I came to know him. But he has always been very hardworking, very determined, very brave. But I was surprised when he decided to move to Nigeria. I was very skeptical and I was nervous that I think the Nigerian system will be too smart for a Gambian. But I was wrong in my thinking. Today, Mustafa Njai is a household name in Nigeria, the biggest black country in the world, and the biggest economy in Africa. So I have no doubt that Mustafa Njai can establish anywhere in Africa if he survives in Nigeria. Congratulations, Mr. Mustafa Njai. But from the time I came to know Mustafa Njai in 1991, it is today 30 years. Who would have thought Mustafa Njai will invite me today as President of the Republic to launch Tough City? Mr. Mustafa Njai, thank you very much for the invitation. But I assure you that as President, my government will give Gambian all the support and will create the environment for all businesses to operate in this country peacefully and successfully. So we are calling on all Gambians to try to venture into business. Government is ready to partner with you. No doubt about that. The sky is the limit. As a result, I am here to associate my government with private sector contribution to national development and to appreciate and highlight the excellent work of an illustrious son of the Gambia, Mr. Mustafa Njai. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the development of Tough City accords me our nation's infrastructure development program as captured in the National Development Plan 2018-2021. It is satisfying and a source of pride as Gambians that Tough Africa Global is among Gambians companies taking a leadership role in providing safe and comfortable homes in beautiful surroundings that match modern development trends. We referenced to housing estates, and for purposes of sustainable development, our ecosystem must be given due consideration and protected. It is appreciated that this project is guided by such wisdom. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, when I came to office in 2017, I urged Gambian businesses to seize the new Gambia's opportunity to devise creative ways of attracting and retaining high-value investments for the transformation of our economy. Today, no one doubts that our political environment is conducive enough for all sorts of private sector investments. I still hold the view that as an engine of growth, the private sector or Gambian entrepreneurs need to play a critical role in the country's economic expansion process and own it. The government has amply demonstrated the political will, and we will continue to provide the right policy environment for both public and private sector success in order that we realize our development goals as a nation. Thus, we must not only admit that Gambian entrepreneurs have a major role to play in building a prosperous Gambia, but must also allow and support them to play the role effectively. Distinguished guests, the Tough City Initiative is a laudable venture. It will contribute to the realization of the right to shelter, which is also one of the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. Apart from this, the Gambia, with its youthful population, is cultivating the modern culture of maintaining a nucleus family with the lifestyle that goes with it. This calls for matching housing schemes that fulfill such desires. We cannot deny that lifestyles are changing, but there is greater awareness of the importance of healthy lifestyles in clean, safe, and eco-friendly environment. Tough Africa Global intends to provide an integrated scheme that responds to healthy lifestyles in an environment which is safe, able to provide shelter, and has space for agri-business. As reflected in our investments, my government is committed to supporting ventures that ensure food security, promote agriculture as a business, and most importantly, create opportunities for our youth to explore viable sources of livelihoods. This project is one of such ventures. I have noted that Tough City intends to create opportunities where homeowners will engage in different aspects of agriculture to grow what they eat, and assist in lowering the cost of importation of food products through intensive farming. This will certainly boost our economy and attract foreign exchange, as any excess made will be for the open market and exportation. Ladies and gentlemen, in view of the skill gap in various technical and engineering sectors, it is the government's policy to enhance skills development at a higher level. One way of doing this is giving priority to STEM and the technical and vocational education training with the required skills. Gambian citizens will perform better and contribute their full quota to development. My recent inauguration of the Ndemban Technical Vocational Engineering Training Center in Fonyi reinforced my belief that skills development in the country will get across all boundaries including gender and social status. Gambians like Mustafa Njai and Tough Africa Global have demonstrated this and have succeeded internationally. They have impressed expertise and decades of experience to inspire and motivate our youth to effectively develop their skills, especially in construction. I commend Tough Africa Global for their hard work and sense of innovation, and for providing affordable homes and creating job opportunities for young Gambians, both in and outside the country. Mr. Mustafa Njai is a role model, and I hope this ceremony will inspire and encourage our youth to learn from him and use the opportunities before them. Beside the youths, this housing project will solely provide opportunities for the communities in the area and beyond. We are confident that once realized, Tough City will be a fabulous signature and landmark project that will improve the quality of life or living standards of its residents. It is through such unique initiatives that we can transform our landscape and grow our economy. I am bound to congratulate Tough Africa Global and its partners on these great initiatives. Congratulations to you all. Allow me once again to call upon all Gambians for us to renew our commitment to the progress and development of our beloved nation. While government can guarantee the right policy environment, it is up to each of us in the public or private sector to take up the challenge, making the Gambia the envy of our sub-region. Together, we can achieve it through a peaceful and stable environment where all types of investment thrive. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, to formally mark the commencement of this two-year project, I invite you to join me to lay the foundation stone for the construction of Tough City. May God bless our efforts. Long live the Gambia. Forward ever, backward never. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for that very comprehensive speech. All right. Sammy, all right. At this juncture, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, for that statement. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us hope too. We are glad that your story is one that we can draw inspiration from. But at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to almost the end of it. But of course, the President, together with Mr. Njai, are going to lead us to the laying of the foundation stone, because the President is going to do that. Thereafter, I would have to go inside this room you are seeing here, so that the President with his cabinet ministers and other dignitaries can have a look of the model that TAF wants to implement here. But I kindly ask that entry will be restricted, as the place is so tight, so the number of media houses who are going to go in there would be very limited. And the President would, of course, go also in there with some limited amount of guests. So we kindly urge that if you cannot go in there, especially the media houses, you can liaise with your fellow media houses to get footage.
GS5